guys, what is up? This is Oksana with Craft and More Design, where we talk about all things sublimation, laser machine, DIY, and the home. Every one of you guys has a closet in your house that is probably pretty useless and unused. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to transform something really boring into something so beautiful. In fact, this is probably one of my favorite spots and looks cuter than anything else in my home. So let's get started. Those of you that have been following my journey, you guys know that I transformed my entire basement into my full functioning office / craft room / laser machine room. But one thing that I was missing was having a shipping station. So I'm so excited to show you guys my process and this journey. And I really want to inspire you that if you have boring spaces in your home, please make them beautiful. You will be so much more happier and so much more thankful that you did. The very first thing that I did was take everything out of the closet. That is always how I start doing any kind of DIY project. I will remove everything and just kind of have a blank canvas to work with. So I planned the space in my head and then I went to work. In the process of transforming my shipping closet, I realized that I really needed to form a better space. So I went to the garage, took a pause on my closet, and just started cleaning out my garage. I bought some shelving and some storage totes, and I just did kind of a deep clean, declutter, put everything away that I don't use really monthly or even quarterly, and I just put everything up. This really helped declutter a lot of the space because I realized things start getting really chaotic when there's a lot of clutter and mess, and I cannot function or be creative in mess. So that is something that's extremely important to me. Once I finalized the style of the space, I took a trip to Dollar Tree and found these awesome sponges. I ended up using this extra large one for this project. In order to create this accent wall, I had to find the image to trace it, and I ended up finding this really pretty floral silhouette, and I traced it onto regular computer paper, which then I was able to trace it onto my sponge. That was the really easy part to do once I figured out the size and the design that I wanted. Cutting the sponge was horrible. It literally took me forever, but I'm so glad I took the extra time and made it work because this accent wall is seriously one of my favorite parts of this space, and I'm glad I just made this thick, stubborn sponge work. So now the real fun begins. I started doing the sponge wall. When doing this, you have to be really careful not to apply too much paint or it's going to cause some spills, but you also have to be careful not to apply too little of paint or it's going to come out uneven. So once I found the happy medium to firm pressure, I just eyeballed where I wanted everything and I went to town. In the meantime, I had my husband draw out some plans for our shelving. I really don't like how the wire shelf looked, so I took that down and I wanted a little bit more of an L-shaped. So when I went through the inventory of my garage, we realized that we have a lot of wood that we can use, and I even had an old craft desk that we were trying to get rid of. So when my husband made the proper measurements, he went to work and did whatever he did, worked his magic, and created this beautiful L-shaped space. Now, I started staining one of the boards, but I realized it didn't match the stain of the other desk, and it already had poly on it, so it was just kind of a disaster. So I just improvised, and I ended up just painting this entire L-shaped wood desk with the leftover charcoal, black paint that I already had for my wall. So really, it was just a blessing in disguise, and I love it because it really looked so much better than my original idea of stain. So as my husband was just deconstructing and building this desk, my son was playing with my crate, and I moved on to painting the next wall. I had this really cool idea to make a faux concrete textured wall. I wanted the space to kind of look modern but also outdated, but it definitely did not turn out the way I expected, and I was not impressed. So I went back through my garage and I found some leftover paints, and I ended up mixing my own shade of gray, which was a huge no-no. This is one of the first major mistakes I ran into because once I ran out of paint, I had no way to fix it because it was just sample oops paint, and I was not able to recreate this, which is definitely not a smart thing to do. Now onto my final wall. I was really afraid that it might close in this closet, so I ended up just compromising with a little bit of the bold black right on top. And right before this, I took down that final wire shelf and I spackled to patch these holes. You really shouldn't use your hands for filling in these holes, but I can't find my gloves anywhere, and I can't find the little spackle brush, so I'm gonna do it. I added another shelf on the top with our leftover wood, and then my husband went and found these DIY shelving brackets that he was able to put together. Do you like working for your wife?
Sometimes.
Do you like building shelves?
Most of the time, I like working for my wife.
Do you like building
Sometimes
shelves?
she can get a little crazy. She can make me do a bunch of stuff.
And I found this gunstock stain, and I was just so impressed and so happy how everything just was perfectly fit together. We are almost done. Does it work? Does it fit? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Oh, I did. Oh my gosh. Professional. We did it. Okay. And now that all the hard work is over, I took that sponge wall art, I carried it over across the back side of the wall just to complete this look. I pulled off all of the painter's tape, touched up where I needed to, and started cleaning. And then I could not wait to start organizing. So I used what I already had, but I did make a trip to Walmart to buy a whiteboard for my notes, and then I made one trip on Marketplace to purchase this amazing gigantic pegboard for just $12. Never underestimate the phenomenal deals you can find on Facebook Marketplace. That is always my first go-to when I'm looking for anything for my home makeovers. Now, putting it all together was seriously one of my all-time favorite things. I purchased these pegboard organizers on Amazon, and then I found some wicker baskets I had laying around the house. I still had a couple details to finish, such as labeling the drawers, but in the meantime, I was just so impressed with the final results, and I absolutely love how everything came together. It looks beautiful. I was so happy with it. This turned out so pretty. I am so happy. Seriously, whenever I'm in here, I just feel like a fresh of breath air and creativity spark. So I love it. Be sure that you guys turn on that notification bell so y'all can see all the other DIY videos that I do, and be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and post a comment below which part is your favorite. One thing that I really like to do with any kind of room makeover is to leave a little bit of extra empty storage space. So in the meantime, I'm going to do some sublimation blanks. I put some pillows, and then now I have some mugs. If you have not checked out my sublimation mug tutorial, you have to go check it out. I'll post it right here. It's a really fun, easy DIY that you can do with beautiful sublimation ceramic mugs.